Hey folks, just on my way to Grande Prairie to the Sasquatch Symposium at the museum there. Might be lucky enough to meet Dr. Jeff Meldrum, which would be really cool. Be kind of like a bucket list thing, kind of meet one of my favorite researchers, I guess. And the other guys are a little bit behind me from the Alberta Sasquatch organization. They're running a little late. But I'm really excited. Tomorrow, Keenan will be doing a presentation. I'm not really sure if I'll be taking part in that or not. If I do, I'll probably be talking about witness interviews and how important they are, that kind of thing. For example, like the one I posted not that long ago, the encounter in Slave Lake there. Be playing a little snippet from my initial conversation with him, so it's kind of audio nobody's really heard before, but he basically just sums everything up in about 5 minutes, so not as much detail, but it kind of gets the gist of everything that happened. Yeah, I'm really excited. It sounds like it's sold out, so it should be pretty busy. It should be a really good time, and I'm excited to be there.
That's Madonna on cue. I'm Steven. We have some very special guests in studio right now, some very experienced and, dare I say, famous, especially when it comes to Sasquatch. We got Justin and Josh from the Alberta Sasquatch Association and Jeff Meldrum. Thank you so much for coming in, guys.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
So Sasquatch is something that is so fascinating, and it has some deep lore, I understand, right around this area as well. Can I just start off by asking you guys what got you into something as magical and fantastical as Sasquatch?
I think back in the day for a lot of us, for me especially, it was watching old documentaries, and my dad was really into the subject, so he kind of got me into it, and it kind of hooked me from there, so.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for me, it's something similar, and I've had some interesting experiences while working in remote areas, and that's kind of what got me into it recently.
I had experiences as a young person, but from a professional academic point of view, I was shown a long line of footprints in southeastern Washington back in 1996, and as a student of the evolution of human bipedalism, that was right up my alley, and the hook was set. So that was some 24 years ago, and now I have over 300 footprint casts in my laboratory.
Wow, that's amazing. And there's the Sasquatch Symposium coming to Center 2000 at the Heritage Discovery Center today, and there's the afternoon session, which is with Justin and Josh. That one is sold out, which is absolutely fantastic. And for you, Jeff, it's going to be 7:30. Can I just get some insight on exactly what you guys are going to be talking about there? How are you going to, I guess, educate people about Sasquatch more?
Our organization, we just really want to get in public engagement, so we'll be kind of taking things kind of more, looking at it from more of a simple perspective, looking at some eyewitness accounts, kind of both kind of more classical ones from like the early 1800s to all the way to now. Even from this year, we've had a few, so we'll be looking at that. We'll be talking about the Indigenous aspect as well. Raymond will be talking about that, and we'll be touching on some other interesting subjects, and Justin will be showing his documentary as well.
And we're here just on the heels of the 50th anniversary of the very famous or infamous, depending on who you ask, Patterson-Gimlin film, which really sort of set the benchmark for photographic evidence for Sasquatch. So I'll be talking about that from a scientific perspective, and sort of giving a context for the broader question of Sasquatch. It's a great way to introduce the subject to an audience.
And these sessions and exhibits are going to focus kind of solely on Alberta here. And I'd like to know, is there a big difference between sightings of Sasquatch in Alberta as opposed to maybe another part of Canada or United States?
It seems like most encounters that they're usually unique in certain aspects, but we do see commonalities such as like similar descriptions of vocalizations, things like rock throwing, what's called tree knocking, and similar behaviors like aggressive behaviors or just different types of behaviors. They do seem to correlate across the board. Yeah.
Being from Idaho, I can concur with that. One of the things that sort of speaks to the credibility of these experiences is that they're not singular. They're not idiosyncratic to the individual, but there are these common threads that speak to a very common experience shared by people all across the continent.
Speaking of experiences, have you guys ever had an actual Sasquatch encounter where you've seen the big guy with your own two eyes?
Haven't seen it yet with my own two eyes, but I did have an experience this last winter where something really large and heavy ran towards me, almost in like a bluff charge sense. And it was just in the darkness in the tree line, so I couldn't actually see it, but you could certainly hear it. And the sound of my heartbeat was pretty loud as well.
That sounds amazing. Scary.
Yeah, for me, no, I have never seen the big guy. I can't say I have, but I've had some strange experiences in the forest that aren't really easily explainable, and they may be explainable in that sense.
And after 20 years in the field and a lot of time spent in the field, it was only just a few years ago that I caught a glimpse, I believe.
Wow.
And it was right here in Alberta, not far from here, near Nordegg. And just a silhouetted figure that crept across the road from one tree line to the next. Had I not had night vision, I wouldn't have seen it, and I don't think it thought that I could see it, which is why it came out in the open, I believe.
Still, that's enough to have. That's an amazing story. Just even catching a glimpse is so cool. And is there anything else that we should know about in regards to Sasquatch or what you'll be talking about today?
Well, I hope it's both educational and an opportunity for people who have had experiences, may be reluctant to share their experiences for fear of ridicule, to realize that here's a safe environment to maybe explore that experience and come to a better understanding, and maybe provide some insight to these gentlemen here that are conducting this serious research here in Alberta. Come on out and share.
And I have one more question that I think everybody really wants to know. When you really boil it down, does Sasquatch really exist?
I think we all believe so, yes.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
I don't think I would have devoted nearly a quarter century of my career to the question if I wasn't pretty convinced that it was worthwhile.
Well, it's also fascinating, and I thank you guys so much for coming out, and have a great time today.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Tonight's Lotto 649 draw is an estimated.
So we're just before the Sasquatch conference and speaking here in the morning. We're just checking out the exhibit at the symposium here. We've got all kinds of cast replicas, including this like giant handprint, which is really cool. They got some local Alberta stories. They're really interesting. There's some knuckles there and some casts there. It's a really cool exhibit. I recommend you visit it if you're ever in Grande Prairie. Very cool. He's got all kinds of memorabilia, Sasquatch memorabilia on display, which is really neat. All from probably the 60s through till now kind of thing. Pretty neat.
Hey folks, it's me. I'm just driving back home. It's about 8:15 in the morning. Had a really great time at the Sasquatch Symposium in Grande Prairie. It was a really awesome experience. I got to spend a lot of time with Dr. Jeff Meldrum, and he has a lot of really amazing insights, things I had never even thought about before. And he's a very intelligent man. He's a very nice man. I didn't really expect him to be such a nice guy, to be honest. And he's a really great guy. So it was really, really cool to meet him and spend some time with him. It's kind of like one of my heroes, sort of. So it was really cool to meet him. It meant a lot to me, and got to kind of talk about some of the track casts that they had on display there. He had Charles, the curator. He had a lot of copies of famous track casts and everything, like Cripplefoot and like that handprint, and Patterson Gimlin various things like that. So there's a really great they have a really great display there. If you're in the area of Grande Prairie, I definitely recommend going and checking it out. It's on, the display is on until the end of the year, and it's a really great opportunity to learn a little bit about Sasquatch if you're new to the topic, or even if you're like me and you are fairly knowledgeable on the topic. It's still a really cool exhibit to go see. So definitely go see that if you have the chance. Me and the guys had a great time. The audience for our presentation was really great. I think people were a little bit shy to talk about any experiences they had, but I expect we'll be getting some emails. We had a lot of people take our cards, and it was really good. People asked some really good questions, and we talked to some people kind of on the sidelines afterwards about their experiences, and there's some interesting ones. We got to, one of our team members, Raymond, is a Indigenous background, and he talked about the Indigenous perspective from the Dene perspective on Sasquatch, and we had some natives there, and they were willing to chat a bit with us. It was really great. So it was a lot to take in. Dr. Meldrum's presentation was really good. It's kind of like the one he does several different presentations, but the one he did was basically the analysis of the Patterson-Gimlin film and the track casts. And he's such a smart guy. He basically proves that Sasquatch exists just based off the Patterson-Gimlin film and tracks casted with it. And it's really just mind-blowing when he goes through all of this anatomy and like how this could, in his opinion, only really be real because he can see, that it's walking in a certain way that would make sense, and a human could never replicate it, and you can see all the muscle tone, and he talks a lot about the physiology and why Patty looks the way she does, and it's very, very interesting. So if you ever have an opportunity to go to a Sasquatch kind of gathering where he's doing a presentation of any kind, definitely recommend it. He's definitely very open to talking to everyone. He was always happy to just chat with anyone about Sasquatch or anything really. And I just had a really great time. I really am glad I went up there. And like honestly, the memories from this weekend I'll have for life. Like just being able to like hang out with Jeff Meldrum and talk with him quite a bit, and it was just really cool. So as far as our research, so I don't know if I've mentioned this in my videos yet, I'm kind of part of the Alberta Sasquatch organization, so we've been conducting some research over the last, or what you might call research, over the last couple of years, and we've come up with some interesting stuff. Nothing mind-blowing, but we're still working on trying to find some areas that have reliable activity. Like we've had some areas with spotty activity where some of our members were there when the activity occurred, but we've never had somewhere where we're getting consistent activity. So we're still trying to work on that. My personal goals for the future are still, obviously, if you've seen my previous videos about my experiences that may or may not have to do with Sasquatch, I just want to see one of these things for myself, and I want to experience one, even if it scares me out of the wilderness for a little while. But I think it's really important to me personally that I have the opportunity to see one of these creatures, and preferably through binoculars or from a vehicle or something, although I suspect if I do get that opportunity, it's not going to be what I want, but oh well. I really do want to cast my own track or tracks. That's a real big goal of mine, so I want to try in the next couple of years just going up rivers and streams and looking at the banks. You know, these animals have to drink water, so if you go to any lakes or streams in the area, they've got to drink, so there's got to be tracks somewhere. So I really want to find some tracks and cast them, just for my own personal, I don't know if you want to call it a collection, but just for my own personal use. I'd really love to cast a track and have it, you know, hanging on my wall. I think it'd be really cool. I'll put it next to my picture with Jeff Meldrum. But yeah, honestly, I am like really on a high energy level after this weekend. It was really great. It was a really, really good, like emotional booster. I had a great time. So thanks for watching, guys, and I'll try to keep you updated on what's going on, and I'll try to do more video when I'm out in the field and stuff, so that you guys are kind of out there with me. I really do have plans to kind of like maintain this channel a little bit more. I am still in school, so I'm very limited on my spare time. But I appreciate you guys sticking with me, and thanks for watching. Appreciate it. Have a great day.